All right, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. I want to go ahead and get started with a few things that we've got going on with the Columbus Lions. If y'all don't know who I am, again, Nathan Fleury, General Manager of the Columbus Lions. Coach here with us. So first and foremost, I want to go ahead and start with letting you guys know that we always evaluate our roster every week. We like to make changes. We like to make sure to stay on top. We like to be the best team out there. So this week, Coach did inform me we did make a couple changes. We released a guy off of our defensive line. We released somebody off of our offensive line. We actually released one of our kickers. We actually signed an offensive line and signed another kicker as well. So again, it's one of those that we're always having to change our roster, always making those proper adjustments to make sure that we try to be the best team out there and try to be the ones to stay on top. That's something that we have to do to be competitive in this league. So this upcoming week, we have Carolina, the Carolina Cobras. They're going to be a really good team. They've got a strong defense. They're very well coached. Then they can make an impact on all three phases. So it's one of those that we know they're going to present a challenge to us. So we just want to make sure that we're prepared to execute at a high level. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up for any questions.
Nathan, as this is your first year as the general manager, also the Columbus Lions returning to the NAL for the first time in 3 years. Just what's really just the expectations coming into this NAL playing a familiar foe, the Carolina Cobras, this upcoming Friday. How's just the vibe just around the building, just getting ready to play Carolina?
Man, it's a strong vibe. It's an awesome vibe. I think our guys are ready. I think our guys have honestly never been as amped as what they are now. I think they feel like they've got something to prove. With these guys, man, I mean, it's just high. It's going to be a high impact game. It's going to be a fun game. And I think y'all are going to get a lot of action.
Nathan, we were talking about this off air about being one of the longest standing arena football teams in the nation at 19 years. What does that mean to be part of such a organization that has lasted this long, which is pretty incredible?
Man, look, 19 years for an arena football team is absolutely phenomenal. It's an honor. I've said that a million times, and I'll continue to say that. It's an honor to be the general manager of this organization. And it's something that I really feel like we're a pillar in that community, when it comes to the arena football. And like I said, we've got expectations, and hopefully we can continue those and continue moving forward, and hopefully have another 20 years to go ahead of this.
Nathan, could you just walk us through just a typical game day experience from start to finish, and with it being on a Friday night, what is the crowd expected to look like, and when does the tailgating start?
Yeah, all right. So, needless to say, we've got our tailgating. Tailgating actually starts around 4 o'clock. Doors are going to open up at 5. Go ahead and let people start coming in. Of course, then we got our lines walk at 5 o'clock as well. You get the chance to kind of see the players, meet the players, slap some hands, say hey, get to know our guys. Get in the locker room, bless our team, get out there on the field and start our warm-ups, man. And that's going to be it, honestly. When it comes to the arena and the crowd, man, we're hoping this is going to bring a big crowd. We've got quite a few tickets out, so hopefully this will pack the stands. Like I said, this is the beginning of our league games, so we're ready to see what happens.
It's also a big night. We're having a partnership. I want you to kind of talk about what is Friday night that we are doing with a local nonprofit organization from Columbus.
Yeah, so we actually went ahead and joined with the United Way. We've got some good stuff going with those guys. A phenomenal group of people. We're very proud and very honored to have them, to join us with this. It's something that we've said, and I've said it before, we want to make sure that we're a part of this community, that we want to give back to this community in any way possible. Coach and I have discussed it. There's a lot we're going to try to get the players involved with, anything and everything we can with the United Way as well. So we're very honored, very happy, very proud.
Nathan, this is also the NAL game of the week. Typically, what goes into a game of the week, and you're going to have the entire NAL watching this game, and how big of a game is this going to be with this game against Carolina being featured as the NAL game of the week?
We're excited, man. It's awesome to be the game of the week. For us to come into the NAL and this being named, game of the week on week 3, that's a very exciting, and something that, it's pressure on everybody, so it's one of those that we're ready to step up, knock it out, man.
Good.
Good. Thank you guys so much. We'll see y'all on Friday.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more of Inside the Den with Rick Behringer and head coach Damian Daniels next on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We love being able to go to the different high school, colleges, middle schools to live broadcast sporting events around the area. Georgia Alabama Sports Live appreciates all the fan support, but without a presenting sponsor like Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC in Opelika, none of this would be possible. So we want to say thank you so much. Go to glennsmith.com. That is right, glennsmith.com. See all the inventory and see why people always say, get ready to smile. Thanks, everyone, and thank you to Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC for being our presenting sponsor.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
Sorry. I got my computer. I know it.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Den, Columbus Lions Coaches Show here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and I'm with the man himself, Coach Damian Daniels. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Always glad to be here.
We're going to do this every single week, man, and we talked last week. It was kind of like you got the win. Now let's regroup. We're heading now into our first NAL game, and now it's going on against a rival in Carolina.
Right.
Bunch of new players, not the same players that you played, 6-7 years ago in the NAL championships, but what do you know about this team led by Coach Matt Bonner, and what are you expecting from them heading into this matchup?
Oh, well, once we got to see them, they're a well-coached team, very physical team.
Yeah.
They have a strong defense, and I think the physicality that they oppose on offense is what kind of gave them the advantage this past week. So it's going to be a challenge to see how we match up to them.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. And Espinoza, the quarterback, he's already got 4 touchdown passes on the season. They got a big win. Coach, what has been the preparation heading into this week? You won 85-0 last game, but you said there's always room for improvement. There's always things you want to work on. What are some of those things you try to work on heading into this week against Carolina?
Right, just working on the little things, making sure that we're hitting our spots as far as the receivers, hitting the motions and being in the right spots. When they play in zones, we got to learn how to read the coverage and know where we're supposed to be. And on defense, we just got to not give up the big play. That's the biggest thing that we've been talking about this week. And, with their running game, we're going to have to tackle Tobias Taylor. He is a pretty awesome running back, so it's going to be a tough challenge.
But you got a pretty awesome running back in yourself.
Right.
Is he going to be featured again, just like he was in the previous matchup against Peach State?
He definitely will. Hopefully he can have the same type of outcome.
Yeah, man, he was fantastic. He had over 4 touchdowns, and we expect big things from him the entire year this year. But, Coach, going into the season this year, nobody really knew anything. They put out their rankings. That's all well and dandy. Right. But everyone, and I think including a little bit of the Columbus Lions fans, are interested of what this NAL league is going to be about. Is that interest factor something that y'all have talked about as a team? And is that I'm ready to prove a lot of people who the Lions are also a factor too?
Right. Well, as a team, we know who we are, and we know we can play in any league. So
right.
It's just a matter of, like you said, we were ready to go out here and prove ourselves that we belong in this league, and we are still the standard. We are Columbus, no matter what league we're in.
Yeah, and you know what? Coming into this one, Coach, you're taking on a team that you're not very familiar with in regards to a lot of the players and stuff. Did you watch any of the previous game, How are you going into preparing for this? Because again, you didn't have much information on them heading into this week.
Well, I have watched a little bit of everything, to be honest. I watched some of the coaches in previous years. I watched some of the players, individual tapes in previous years. So, just trying to get any little thing I can to get an advantage going into this week to help us out. So it's just been a ton of film watching, ton of meetings, and, now we're ready to get it going.
What's the rest of the schedule looking like for this week heading into Friday night for your guys?
Well, we got one more hard practice tonight. We're going to get after it, and then tomorrow we'll kind of figure out who we're going to dress, and it'll be more of a controlled walkthrough tomorrow night, and get ready to go to Battle Friday.
I feel like everyone is eager. They're waiting for the anticipation of playing in the NL again, playing against Carolina. There's a lot of people looking forward to this matchup. So this is your cry to the community, your cry to not just Columbus Lions fans, or anyone that's interested in learning about arena football and what it's all about, why they need to come and enjoy some good football on Friday.
Well, for one, Friday night football is the best type of football.
Come on,
for one. All right, but this is what everybody has been waiting for. The highly anticipated matchup between us and Carolina. First league game back into the NAL. It's going to be a great, exciting show, and I promise you won't want to miss it.
I can't wait for it. It's, again, 7 o'clock. You can get tickets online. You can also get them when you get to the Civic Center. We got a pregame show at 5 o'clock, Coach. I'm going to try my hardest to pull this man, but he's always in game mode, so it's hard sometimes. But, Coach, we look forward to being there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to be yelling touchdown over and over again like I did last year.
Indeed.
And looking forward to Friday night against the Carolina Cobras. 7 o'clock at the Civic Center. Coach, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
And we will see you on Friday night with the Columbus Lions. Thank you to Nathan Fleury. Of course, thank you to the ownership group for allowing us to be partners with the Columbus Lions. And we look forward to being there Friday night. Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We'll see you next time.